Her apologies and her congratulations to the new judge and also to her very proud whānau. Let me introduce the judges seated on the bench with me. The Acting Principal Family Court Judge, David Smith. On my far right, the Whangarei Executive Judge, John McDonald. Next to him, the Manukau Executive Judge, Ida Malosi, and of course, Judge Laverne King. I am especially pleased because at this point in time, I am now one of 4 Māori women from this region on the District Court bench. On behalf of the Chief Judge, I extend a warm welcome to all my judicial colleagues, many of whom have travelled long distances. We have an impressive turnout of judges and the coroner, members of the legal profession, and sadly today, some of the dignitaries who had hoped to be here, including the Honourable Shane Jones and the Honourable Kelvin Davis, for probably transport reasons are not able to. We have an equally impressive turnout of Judge King's whānau and iwi, and I extend a especially warm welcome to Hone and your children, including your very first mokopuna.
Yay!
Judges draw strength from their whānau. Your love, support, and crucially your perspective on life would have helped Judge King reach this important milestone, and it will sustain her in her new role. I have further apologies from the Chief Justice, the Principal Family Court Judge Jackie Moran, the Auckland Executive Judge Sarah Fleming, Judge Tinny Clark and Judge Noel Cocorello, Judge Lane Harvey, and the Attorney General David Parker. Sadly, Sir Heke Nuku Mai Busby is not with us any longer. Before he passed away a few weeks ago, he had been planning to be part of today's celebration. As it happens, there is an observation made of Sir Heke that has certain parallels with Judge King's career. It is said that Sir Heke's navigation feats put to rest long-held myths that Māori arrived in New Zealand by accident rather than by design. There is nothing accidental either about Judge King's journey in the law and ultimately to the bench, and many of today's speakers will attest to that. Before I come to that, I want to highlight the venue for today's sitting. I thank the board and staff of Te Rangi a Niurewa and the people of Ngāti Kahu ki Whangaroa and the 5 iwi of Muri Whenua for welcoming us into your school and for generously giving it over to the District Court for the day. The Chief Judge travelled up here earlier this year in preparation for today and was really delighted to meet the pupils, staff and board representatives. I wish to acknowledge also New Zealand's first woman registrar, Tanya Parker. Who very appropriately today is the court taker. She has been registrar in Kaitaia for 3 decades. It is a little-known provision in the court's governing legislation that allows the court to sit in a location where the presiding judge sees fit. For this large and exuberant gathering, Te Puna Ora Te Rangi a Niurewa fits that bill nicely. We would not have all fitted into the tiny Kaitaia courthouse. Just as importantly, the venue is a good reflection of the community the new judge will be serving. Not only is the Northland region one of New Zealand's fastest growing, about 40% of its people are of Māori descent, which is about twice the national average. Here in the far north, more than half the people, 51%, are tangata whenua. Many of you are fluent te reo speakers. More people in this part of the country work on the land or at sea, in agriculture, forestry and fishing than any other industry. Not surprisingly, the region is New Zealand's least urbanised. Half the people live in the countryside. 12 years ago, after a lifetime in Auckland, Laverne King made a courageous decision to become one of those rural residents. It has been a journey of determination, or, as they might say in rural America, true grit. When she decided that her future lay in the ancestral home of her mother's people here in the far north, she moved the entire family from Papakura to a small remote house at Whangaroa. It was her mother's house. Laverne ran her business out of her bedroom. It was off the grid, and the only power was solar or from generators. The driveway was half a kilometre long. The water tank was so small that the family had to pump up water from a string. It was hard living. The property was prone to flood. The children remember it only too well, unnamed sources of the Chief Justice said. Especially those times when they wore rubbish bags on their feet to stay dry on the walk to the school bus. So intrepid was the lifestyle change, the family featured on Māori TV in a series about Māori migration. The school was this kura. It is a tribute to you, Judge King and Te Rangi a Niwa, that your three children, Kapene, Makere and JJ, speak te reo. Two of the children became head pupils. Laverne served on the board, including as chair, even after the children had left school. When lawyers decide to take up judicial robes, they often speak about it being time to give back to the law in the service of the public and the communities. But in many ways, Judge King has been giving back from the day she joined the legal profession. Judge King grew up in Papakura, the 10th child in a family of 11 children. After graduating, she joined a firm in Otahuhu, Wendell Archibald, as a general practitioner. As well as the usual broad sweep of legal work, she also gained skills in Māori land law. This has been invaluable over the years in helping her mother's family secure land from Marai's site in Mangonui, and helping her father's family manage trust land near Cleveland, southeast of Auckland, and also for advising on the protection of ancestrally significant land in Doubtless Bay. In 1994, she joined Ida Malosi and Ali'i Muamua Sandra Alufivai in establishing a Māori and Pacifica woman law firm based in Otahuhu and Onehunga, which later became Cam Legal in Manukau. This endeavour took a hefty dose of grit as well. Every bank they approached for a loan turned them down. They eventually secured a loan from the Māori Women's Welfare League. The young professionals determined they would get the firm off to a stronger footing if no one had a baby. And they entered a written agreement that no one was to have a baby for at least a year. 2 years. Or 2 years. However, the ink was barely dry on the deal before Laverne promptly broke it. And Ida.
Exhibit 1 and 2.
And Sandra. And they kept on breaking it 13 times in all. Necessity being the mother of invention, the trio created a family-friendly workplace, notably offering paid parental leave well before it became law. The firm had its own nursery. With 3 children under 3 at one stage, Laverne was the cornerstone client. Judge Malosi has described that partnership as being about sisterhood and love, and about Māori and Pacifica working together. Apparently those strong bonds survived Laverne's natural strengths and assertive leadership, affectionately described by colleagues as being bossy.
That's over.
A trait some may view as making her uniquely qualified to be a judge. After 11 years, Laverne became a barrister sole, continuing with family law and also as a District Inspector of Mental Health, Counsel for Child and a youth advocate. Then she turned her gaze north to this place. I am glad to report she graduated from the bedroom office at Whangaroa to her own office at Manganui, where she has been working mainly in family law. She has been a visiting justice at Ngāwha Prison and a trustee of the Youth Horizons Board. And she and Hone now live in a less isolated home at Taipa. I'm sure with good drainage now. Last year, she was asked to join the panel reviewing the 2014 family justice reforms, an unenviable task requiring the special skills and insights that only an experienced and respected family lawyer can bring. All these life and career experiences have helped shape a person who knows and understands the people she represents. Judge King's appointment also speaks to the District Court's commitment to widening diversity on the bench. The makeup of the judiciary continues to change, and so it should. Earlier this year, the Principal Family Court Judge and the Chief Judge held a series of seminars to encourage a more diverse range of lawyers to consider a judicial career. It takes time and attention to effect change, but I believe we are making progress. Judge King, your appointment brings to 20 the number of tangata whenua on the District Court bench. 2 of the 6 Whangarei-based judges are now Māori, and both from local iwi. Half of our family court judges are now women. Equitable representation is important when the District Court touches the lives of thousands of New Zealanders a year, often at times of upset and vulnerability. Not only is it a court of law, it is a court of the people. And as such, the court needs to have the people's confidence, or as Baroness Hale, the first woman appointed to the United Kingdom Supreme Court, once put it. The public should be able to feel that the courts are their courts, that their cases are being decided and the law is being made by people like them. It follows that to be truly a people's court and to have democratic legitimacy, a court must reflect the communities it serves. This helps to ensure it delivers justice effectively and with integrity and dignity. Judge King, you are about to join a court with wide jurisdiction. The work is hectic, the case is pressing. You must be a patient listener, a firm and scrupulously impartial decision maker, and a leader who can build accountability. The judicial role will test you, at times frustrate you. It will also uplift you. But you are among your people. The law will guide you, and your people will sustain you. Keep your judicial oath as a constant touchstone. On behalf of all of the judges of the District Court, I wish you well in making your contribution to the delivery of justice in Aotearoa, New Zealand. Nā reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.
Toro mai toringa ki a hariru, tia toringa iapi pono iapi taku tinana.
I now invite Ms. Ophir Cassidy on behalf of Te Hungaroia Māori o Aotearoa to address the court.
Ai tēnā I whiua, takahia, whakakau he tipua, whakakau he taniwha, I unga I wiki hea, I uki te kana nui a tiki pakia, puhi kura, puhi, ka puhi, rei, Nō reira, e ngā mate o tēnei rā, o tēnei wiki, o tēnei marama, o tēnei tau. Haere koutou. Hoki atu rā kia rātou mā, kua wheturangitia I te pō. Haere. Āpiti hono tātai hono, te hunga mate ki te hunga mate. Āpiti hono tātai hono. Tātau te hunga ora e hui mai nei I raro I te tuanui o tēnei whare rangatira ti hei Māori ora. Ki te maunga tapu o te rangi a niwa, tūtonu. Tūtonu hei mana mō ngā iwi o tēnei takiwa. Ki te awa e rere nei, awa nui, rere tonu. Ka huri atu taku mihi kia koutou te kura o te rangi a niwa. Nō mātou te honore nui I tēnei wā. I pōhiri tia koutou mai I a mātou te tini me te mano kua tai mai nei ki te tautoko I tēnei rā tino whakahirahira mō tō tātou rangatira. Tēnā koutou. Kua rangona e mātou I o koutou reoreka. Kua kitea e mātou I o koutou maiatanga. I o koutou kaha ki te hāpai I tō tātou reo rangatira. Nā reira, tēnā koutou. Karere taku mihi ki aku rangatira e noho mai nā kai whakawā. Kia koe hoki e te wahine toa. Tēnā koe mō ngā mahi rangatira kai a koe. Nō reira tēnā koe. Ka huri atu kia kōrua hoki e te kai whakawā Smith. Kōrua ko te kai whakawā McDonald. Tēnā kōrua mō ngā mahi kai a kōrua I roto I tēnei rohe. Ka rere taku mihi kia koe e taku rangatira. E taku wahine toa. Te mārei kura. Te kai whakawā malosi. E kore mutu te aroha mōu. Me te hikoe kua hikoe tia e koe I ngā tau kua pahure ake nei te kaumāwhitu. Nā reira, ngā mihi nui kia koe. Tai atu kia koe. E te kahurangi, e te mārei kura, e taku rangatira, te kai whakawā king. He nui oku mahara mōu mō ngā tau kua pahure ake nei. Engari, ko tākuna kia koe, kua eke koe ki tēnei taumata. Tauana. Nā reira, e kore mutu taku mihi, taku aroha kia koe hoki. Huri noa kia tātou, ka rere atu hoki a taku mihi ki aku rangatira ngā kai whakawā Māori. Ngā kai whakawā Māori I tai a tinana mai ki te whakanui I tō tātou rangatira. Hikaka ana te manawa kua tai mai te nuinga o koutou. Kia kaha koutou I roto I o koutou turanga. Kei mua mātou te hungaroia Māori o Aotearoa, kei mua hei tautoko I a koutou I ngā wā katoa. Nā reira, tēnā koutou. Huri noi tēnei whare a tāhua I tēnei wā. Hikaka ana te manawa mo tēnei rā, nō reira tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. May it please your honours, I am so grateful and humble